What is up, guys, and welcome to the Nexus podcast. I hope everyone is doing good. Harry got me there. That was a little end of season joke. We are here with episode 10 of season 2, guys. That is our 20th episode that we have done for you lovely folks. So thank you to everyone that has watched our content and subscribed and everything else. Today we are finishing with a bang. We have a bunch of things to talk about. Sure, you guys probably know most of the content. We have a group survey that we did today, so we're gonna delve into that. And but yeah, we'll do the normal stuff. So how you feeling, Emmy? Feeling good?
Feeling like $1,000,000. I'm all right. Like last week was so garbage. Like I was so sick, and then we got all the announcements. I was just like down in the dumps. But feeling good. I think like what kind of like lift my spirit is just seeing everyone in the community kind of like rallying up and trying to lift each other and to think about like solutions and things. So yeah, I'm not too bad. Kieran, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. You've been busy at work, locals as per usual. We got some new people actually come into the store on the weekend, which was kind of cool to see. They were basically just a player that quit during set 1, and I think they didn't really know there was a local scene around the area. So they kind of came and they were like, oh damn, like they play you guys. So Josh lent him his crush deck for his first ever tournament back. Took a game off of Josh in round 1, but sadly couldn't get the second game. Poor guy. I mean, the guy was then like, where do you guys buy singles? And we're like, kind of, I guess Big Orbit, and then Big Orbit sold out of like pretty much everything set 4. And Emmy will know about the bad pull rates of set 4 personally, but he actually went out of locals, but he wanted to build Ira. He went out and purchased 6 boxes of set 4 and pulled 1 Ira out of all 6 boxes.
Jeez. So, rest in peace.
And thanks to a certain bald man here today, the prices of Ira is currently sitting at €25 on card market right now per each copy.
Really? Wow.
25 euros per Ira right now on card market. So
I better put mine up on sale.
More, yeah.
How are you doing, Harry, Mr. Baldman?
Very good. Gary Baldy himself. So we had the old Pokemon. It was okay. I mean, it was a huge event. It was like 2.6k people. There were loads. But unfortunately, there were draws in that game. Thankfully, that's not the case with Battle Spirits anymore. But it was just like draw after draw after draw. I was like, yeah, this is a bit obsolete. So
how do you draw in that game?
It's just if you're 1-1, then you draw.
Okay.
So yeah, but still a fun time, a decent experience. Thought I'd rep the Milan shirt to shout out what we're doing on Saturday, doing the commentary for Niccolo Alberto and the Italian boys doing their winner box tournament. So yeah, lots to look forward to in the short term. But as we'll discuss, is there much to look forward to?
Well, let's get on to it, I guess. So yeah,
how are you? How are you, buddy? Come on, give us
me. I've not been very well the past few weeks, but I'm getting there. I'll survive. Pretty annoyed about the way Battle Spirits has turned out. But you know, it is what it is, and we're trying to make the best of it. And for the love of the game, long may it continue. Hopefully. I do worry about the support. I do worry about LGS even stocking it now, and the fact that it's so sparse to even get the cards. It's just gonna sort of wear away to obscurity. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. We'll start off. I'm just gonna if you haven't heard it already, I'm going to dictate the announcement from Battle Spirits. So, to our summoners, we apologise for any confusion caused regarding our events due to information on our website and YouTube channel. Please allow us to clarify the following regarding our organised play events. Number 1. Grand Tour events will not have cash prize. Grand Tour events will have travel and hotel vouchers and other Battle Spirit Saga prizing. Anyone can join these events, and they are scheduled for multiple regions. 2. ProFest events will not have cash prizes. ProFest events will have travel and hotel vouchers and other Battle Spirits prizing. Invites to these events will be earned through worldwide Grand Tour and North American store regional events. So nothing in Europe for us, sadly. The World Championships will not have cash prizes. There's a bit of copy and paste here, but that's a bit of a trend with Battle Spirits and their website, etc. But yeah, enough shade. The World Championship will have travel and hotel vouchers. So guys, if you win Worlds, you can get travel and hotel vouchers to get to the pre-season Grand Tour and start the whole cycle again. But I digress. Invites for this event are earned through ProFest events. 4. Store regionals are intended to provide a regional experience for the local game store. These events feature Grand Tour prizing distributed to different rankings from Grand Tour events. For example, Grand Tour top 16 prizing will be distributed to the top 8 of a store regionals. Pretty nice. That's actually kind of cool, I guess. A roadmap of 2024 organised play is scheduled to be uploaded to our website in the upcoming weeks, so we'll know what's happening soon, hopefully. We once again apologise for the misunderstanding caused by our website and YouTube channel, and thank you for your continued support of Battle Spirits Saga. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. Sorry, that was quite long-winded. It was quite small on my screen, so I didn't realise it would be so long. But I'll just say a few words first before I open the floor. I think the timing is god awful with this. People have been asking for information for a while, and to just like put out a text apology with copy and paste text, it just seems a bit informal, and I don't know. I know it's a big company and stuff, so I don't know where our expectations should lie with player communication, but for me it seems like it's been taken out of someone's hands. Maybe they were going to give us prize money, and then it's been that budget's been revoked because of the failings of the game. But yeah, it's a sad turn of events, really. And unfortunately, regardless of the amount of people that love Battle Spirits, it's still going to have a negative effect on the community, obviously, because a lot of the players, especially the competitive ones, hyper competitive, are quite outspoken. But yeah, no, it's just not looking good, really. How are you guys feeling about this? Harry, I'm going to pass to you. Harry shaved his head because of his anger towards... No, he didn't really. But
did it out of protest.
Yeah.
And the rest of you blacked out.
Yeah, I mean, I would, but I'd be single within minutes, probably.
Fair. Yeah, no, I guess I probably would feel the least aggrieved by it because I won one of the travel vouchers. So, like, I probably will still go to the ProFest that they announced, even though that's going to gobble up a lot of the voucher because they've chosen Gen Con, and like we still don't really know how the vouchers work for the most part, which is quite annoying as well. Obviously with prize money, they would take quite a while to pay it out for the most part, but we're still a bit in the dark. Obviously we'd want to just book things straight away, but like luggage isn't included, seating, additional costs from seating aren't included. So there are stipulations to it that we'd rather just know now. And obviously then booking Gen Con, like you still have to pay for Gen Con entry. All these little asterisks aren't the best if the travel vouchers are the prizes. I think that overall, the travel vouchers aren't bad as pricing necessarily. Like it's fine, and obviously a lot of other Bandai games don't have cash pricing or anything like that, but their cards sell for a lot, like the prize cards. So yeah, there are areas for improvement. Like it isn't like the loss of cash pricing is the end of the world. Like we could make do without it. They're just it really does squeeze the game quite narrowly to where it's only the hyper competitive players that were doing well will feel a sort of incentive to carry on. If you're someone who would just go and hang out, then they would have had less people turning out and less people buying products, which they knew. So yeah, it feels a bit pernicious in that respect. At least they have announced it now. Like they didn't have to announce Worlds pricing now. They could have led us on a bit longer in that respect, I guess. But yeah, definitely should have done it earlier. And I think the main confusion was in the YouTube video. It said that there would be cash pricing, right? I believe that was why they stipulated that. So if they didn't say that in the first place, then I think people would have felt a lot better about it overall. Or if they just said like, look, we aren't doing cash pricing, but we're doing alternate things, i.e., travel vouchers from the start, then the goodwill would have remained really. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are on it as well, guys.
Yeah, no, that's totally right, and I don't think anyone was delusional to that point. Even let's say if they put $1 million behind a bigger IP like One Piece, that is making record-breaking tournaments and just doing fantastic. Even if they put $1 million on first year of One Piece, I wouldn't have expected them to keep it for year two. Even consider how well it's going. So with Battle Spirit, I think no one expected to have the same type of like prize pool. I'm sure. I think where it all comes down to me is like three main points, which we pretty much already touched on. But like the one is the disingenuous communication, and I think you can argue, perhaps like give the benefit of the doubt of like, oh, initially they thought they could do cash pricing, and then maybe they lost the budget or whatever. But realistically, if you say you're going to have cash prizes, which is on a YouTube video, which has a script, which has been reviewed and confirmed, um, that is part of a budget. You rarely lose a budget unless like, you company go bust or your whole entire department vanishes. But still, it could happen.
Well,
right?
there has been a merger, or not really a merger, but like Namco and Bandai have sort of separated,
right? Okay.
And Namco basically don't want any part of the card side of the business, so it's all been sort of palmed off to Bandai. So I think with structural changes within a corporation like that, there's probably going to be some sort of budget changes.
Thanks for that context. Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. I think still, like, to play devil's advocate, I think it's pretty clear that they timed it to a point where they had to say something because preseason was completed, and Pro Tour is the next thing with Grand Tour, Pro Fast and Grand Tour. But yeah, that really annoyed me, frustrated me, as well as what I think the second point for me is the like unfair, not balanced price pool and price distribution. Like we talked about it, being only for top 4, now it's top 8, but it just doesn't feel. I think we'll share some of results. I think on like a poll, a lot of people share this sentiment. Like it's good to reward the top players, but also kind of like it's important, I think, to reward the players that still perform well and don't make like a top cut. Which is the third and final point for me, is just the product prices are really poor.
Yeah, I mean, the playmat this time around, just the quality of it was just awful. This really slipped since
I
Worlds
mean the
even.
quality and the quantity, like just one brick in top eight, doing top eight, you get one brick, and I don't know,
Half the
just not.
cards are not even usable.
Yeah,
You know,
and if you think about
who's
it,
picking them? Is my
yeah.
question. Probably the same person that is dealing with announcements, I imagine. But yeah, what about you, Kieran? You've been silently waiting for 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's an announcement that I don't think anyone should be too surprised about. They had a very aggressive, competitive mindset, very similar to that of Flesh and Blood, where you out the gate you're offering cash prizes. But like the writing was kind of on the walls from the very beginning. The marketing budget was spent horrendously bad. It wasn't spent in the right places. They didn't sponsor the right people. Another card game that came out a while ago, Grand Archive, they had a very good marketing strategy where they would sponsor Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTubers to play and they open the product. And that makes sense because you're trying to target a TCG demographic. But what Bandai did is they targeted a very casual audience that never really even played card games before for the most part. That is like, there's one thing getting into a card game that you like, a hobby you've never played, let alone Battle Spirit Saga, which is not the easiest of card games to get into for the person who's never played a card game before. So I think that was on the rule from the beginning, and I think it's a shame because a lot of things have been going in the right direction. They realize they can't sell too much product, so they cut back on products. But set 4 cards actually hold value for once. The extras in set 4 are still worth good amounts of money even to this day. Like if you open up a set 4 box, you're probably making your money back, or if not, if you high roll the eye roll the hydras, of course. The collaboration in set 4 was done pretty well because it's very easy to pull the full arts besides the X-rays, so you get to enjoy the collaboration feel very easily. We just spoke about the brick cards being quite bad, but that's because for the last year Bandai has been specifically choosing starter deck cards to be the brick cards. Because there's no foil versions of those typically. However, we know from the upcoming online event and onwards, they've picked some pretty interesting set cards. I mean, Hydra is one of the new brick cards, Deep Walker is one of the new brick cards, and some other ones. So they've moved away from, there's things improving about the game, but unfortunately it gets hampered really badly by this announcement. And, Emmy touched upon it that we haven't really talked about Pro Tour because Pro Tour got announced, like the Pro Tour pricing got announced before the last episode. But the Pro Tour pricing it goes to top 8 now, but it's 2K in top 8, not 4K. So the amount of money they're giving away between Pro Tour and Grand whatever is the exact same. In fact, if Hari was to go to Profess and win, he would get less money than when he won the Grand Open because he got 4K at the Grand Open, 2K for winning the Pro Tour. And I think one thing that we didn't get to mention is they announced that Worlds Invites is only for top 8 at Pro Tours now, which is a huge shift from top 64 last year. I came out quite publicly. I didn't like top 64. I thought it was too generous. I thought it was just too, I don't know. I mean, as we know, pass downs happened anyway, so anyone showed up. But like, they've made it more prestigious now, which is cool. But then they've taken away the cash money that would probably make it prestigious in that kind of weird way. No cash prize at Pro Tour level. When we first heard of that news, I think a lot of us were like, okay, that's weird, but maybe they're saving a lot of money for the World Championships. And then we got the actual full announcement and we realized, no, they're not holding anything. But I think it makes the question, how much are they going to give out for winning Worlds? Like, is it just a 4K trial voucher again? Is it a 1K trial voucher for top 16? Like, is it even worse? Like, there's so much we don't know. But I think overall, to kind of like summarize and conclude, I think the morale is naturally going to be quite low because of this announcement. I think that targeting Battle Spirits as a heavy cash game was always the wrong move. It should have been more targeted towards casual locals. And yeah, I think it's a shame that they did this announcement when they did. And I think the fact that, there was proof of them saying there's going to be cash prize and whatnot, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, especially because they announced this after everyone had already gone to the preseasons. So people already bought their cards, and the cards weren't cheap. If you bought Frogs, you bought Hydras, you bought Iras, they weren't cheap. None of those cards were cheap. And now you're probably sitting there. I mean, if you're in Europe, you don't even have a grand open announced for the upcoming future. Is there going to be any more ways to qualify for the ProFest, or is that it? Are we done? It was at the preseason, and that's
it. I mean, they've said that they're gonna announce the roadmap in the next few weeks, so fingers crossed. But I'm sure I'm sure that will be food for thought. And
it doesn't help that only America gets the store championships as well, where like a lot of the European players would be down for a store championship, and I can imagine that similar to Wolves or the tournament in Italy that we're commentating on this weekend, those are like 64 plus tournaments. Like you could easily envision an Italian store championships getting regional numbers.
Well, it's looking like looking like sort of grassroots events are going to sort of be important for the survival of the game now. Like, this event in Italy, we're going to have to try and figure out organizing this kind of thing in the UK. I think anyway, if we want to continue things, and because it looks like they're just stripping back in general with the amount of stuff that we're going to be able to play at, which
I do think one of the problems is, and Harry mentioned this about his travel voucher. You get 2K for winning a Pro Tour, and the World Finals is going to be held in America. $2,000 doesn't get you very far if you're in Europe or if you're in Oceania, especially so we know the websites that you can book it through, but the thing is, you're not going to. It's not like you get to choose. Oh, I'm going to fly EasyJet, the cheapest price, or I'm going to fly British Airways. And I mean, like, let's not be around the bush, but like, getting to Gen Con is ridiculous. Like, I didn't even know the Indiana flight costs, but they are absurdly expensive, even from Europe. Like, they're going to pretty much take a huge chunk out of the voucher. And if you're in Oceania, God forbid you're even going to try and come. Like, if I was you, just go to Japan or something. Like, it's not even worth your time. It's really expensive, like badly expensive. I think I was looking at. I think like economy flights were like £1,200, give or take, and like that's with multiple stops as well. Like it's rough.
And this is why like finding out more details on the vouchers and how they work and stuff like that is so important. Like, I have friends in America, so I'm probably gonna like stay with a friend the week before, adjust to the jet lag, and then go Indiana, and hopefully that'll end up cheaper. But like, is it strict? Like, if I get the voucher, are they gonna be like, no, you can only get to this flight and you can only stay this? I don't know. They need to just release that quickly. But yeah, I agree with your point. Overall, it's mad to book it at Gen Con and then announce it so late when it's just so spenny. It's gonna gobble up the whole voucher, or not the whole voucher, but most of it.
Gen Con tickets on the tournament day is like $70.
Yeah, crazy.
Madness.
And luggage, that's an extra cost.
The seats as well, I guess. Yeah.
Next, they'll be announcing that you have to pay to enter ProFest. So, but yeah. Anyway, we'll get moving. But yeah, overall, bit disappointing. Maybe time to take a different perspective on the game. Maybe not necessarily, put so much time and effort into competitive. No disrespect to the game, but I think the incentives that we had in year one maybe was enough to make us play the game more than we would anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like it's weird. It's like a weird sense of entitlement that I have, and I know I shouldn't have it because it's but like having the year of traveling and getting to play and. I wasn't even super successful, but I still managed to do all right and pretty much cover my more than cover my my trips. So it's just sad to kind of lose that. However, for the love of the game, we do stride forward, and we decided to do a group survey in our WhatsApp group to kind of just like get some thoughts from the community out there for everyone.
It's got 50 members now, so
50 members,
pretty,
yep. 50 members in
community. Most
the
of the EU
boys.
players.
Yeah, it's I guess it is kind of an exclusive club. You have to meet us at a tournament.
It's not exclusive at all.
No, it absolutely
Yeah,
is.
it's
It absolutely is.
We're not gatekeeping anything.
No, we are. If you're not from Europe, stay away. No, I'm just kidding.
We have
a couple of Americans, a
Yeah.
couple of spies.
Yes, exactly, spies. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, we put some questions out to the boys, and yeah, we'll go through them now and just have a little talk about it, I guess. So, question 1: Do you plan? So, good start. Do you plan to continue playing Battle Spirits Saga? And we had 75% yes and competitively, 10% yes but casually, and 15% with a straight no, unfortunately. So that's interesting. I mean, that's like it speaks volumes for the game. A lot of people want to continue to play competitively even without the money side of things. What do you guys think about that? What sort of side are you on?
Notably, for the no's, that included R2, who was arguably EU's best player, if not definitively EU's second best player last year. Sampo, who got top 16 at Worlds. Marv, who was also
Sampo was
Sampo
was top 8 at the event, just gone as well. So.
Yeah, top 8 at the event, just gone as well. So it isn't like, I guess, the more casual players necessarily who are like, screw this, I'm out. It's some top players, which does make sense in that, like, if they're very competent at card games, they're going to choose a better investment for their time. I was quite surprised to see that so many people said that they were going to carry on playing competitively, though. It was nice to see, I guess.
I mean, it's overwhelming amount in favor of continuing competitively.
I want to play devil's advocate for just a second and say, while that many people said that yes competitively, does it mean yes I will travel outside of Europe to, like, that's the different kind of level? Like, someone who says yes I want to play competitively, but then there's another thing actually traveling. I don't know if half those people would even go to, like, let's say a Grand Open in Netherlands or something, right? Let alone flying across the pond. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's different levels to what people think competitive is, but I would say competitively is mirroring what us four kind of did last year, getting out to as many tournaments as we could across the world.
It's just not as feasible anymore, though, is it? Really, I should have
for
said
any
at the beginning. I've been saying this a lot online. I should have said it at the beginning, but I think this announcement hurts the super hardcore player who played for just cash, and we saw 3 of them say no, they're not going to play. And it also hurts badly the people who can't break into top cut, but, like, at least with the old system, they would get $500, $250 to help kind of fund their pro tour, even a little bit.
Me, basically, yeah. I mean, realistically, yeah, that is the case.
If you're aiming for, like, top 16, and, like, I got top 16 3 or 4 times last year, like, it isn't a small thing to get top 16. I think, like, top 16 is, like, the A tier, and then you can push on into top 8 and onwards. But yeah, if you were getting top 16 last year, as Kieran said, that was still like $500 that would subsidize most of the cost of your trip. And it's why I attended every EU event for that reason. And for a couple of them, I was like, I'm just going to get top 16 because it recompenses it. So yeah, it being only top 4 now is much stricter. Like, even for the best players, getting top 4 is no easy feat. It's very difficult.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I like I said, I'm one of those players that was in the mid-level trying to push up into the top, and the lack of worlds invites did make me feel kind of sad. Going to LA or whatever, and with all the guys and playing a big tournament seemed really like a fun thing. But obviously, I mean, it's also a good thing in a way because the elite players will be there. But again, it's like it's a weird one. I mean, there's different ways to look at it really, but I think inclusivity to events like that is, will help keep the player base high. I think of everything, like I would still go to Pro Tour and invest, I think, if I had a decent chance of getting a Worlds invite, regardless of the money. Again, it's just it's tough really. But yeah, I mean, I get it as well. I understand people quitting if they're playing purely for the money. That makes sense, and I don't blame them. But they probably had that mindset early on, like when the money goes, I go, kind of thing.
And
so.
you can't blame that, right? Like,
No,
I think it's important to recognize that, like, they dangle this carrot, and I would argue that if the game was a bad game, like, maybe, it wouldn't have been even that much interest. I don't know, but like the cash prizes were like considerable, and
way too much for the game. Like,
it was definitely way too much. Arguably it was like too much for the first year. Like, I think we would have played for half of that. Would you agree?
Yep.
Like, I think I would have.
People would have played and come out if the first place for Grand Open was even like 1,000. Like, people literally.
Yeah, people would have still been like, "Whoa, that's decent."
Even a third, just like any sort of cash prizing.
It was just. I think it was the whole marketing value of $1 million. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was what they were.
Subject to fluctuations in the yen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Subject to change depending on how the yen goes. Yeah. But no, I don't know. It's a bit. I think they definitely. Like I said before, they're trying to run before they could walk. I think if they offered, like you say, a third even, people would have still been on it. I probably would have. Selling cards is a ball ache, to be honest. But yeah, better move on because we do have quite a lot of questions and we are getting on with time. So next one, are you planning to make another TCG your primary TCG? And we have 10% saying yes, another Bandai one. So that would include, I guess, Dragon Ball or One Piece. Yeah. Then we've got 47% saying yes, but not a Bandai one. So my guess would be Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, Pokemon,
yeah. For that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! If some people really go to the dark side. I know Aaron's going to northern France to play a Disney Lorcana tournament.
Oh, he's playing the Lorcana tournament.
There's 2,500 people though, so it should
Where
be.
is that?
I said Lille.
Prizing's not even been announced for that, right?
Yeah.
It has.
Oh, it has now. Nice.
Yeah, he's going for vibes though. I'm pretty sure, but no.
Well,
He's pretty good at the game though, to be fair.
Is there white aggro in Lorcana?
No. He played. I actually played the same build as he did when we were exploring the game. It's like a ramp sort of devastation build. Pretty good. Bell.
Nice.
So I just want to give a quick 1 minute explanation about that, because me and him were on a call with R2, and we were talking about, we were weighing up the options, and we all said no, it's not worth doing. And then the tickets went up at 7. He was like, oh, I wonder if I can go and get a ticket on the website. So he goes on the website, buys a ticket, and then literally, I think 2 or 3 minutes after going live, they sold out on 2,000 tickets extra they'd put up.
Yeah. Instant sellout. Yeah, it was mad. And you can't transfer either.
No, and then we're like, why did you buy a ticket? Mate, he's like, oh, don't know. Yeah, that's why it's
He's
playing.
gonna go. He's gonna go and top though. Like, I mean, he topped the Star Wars event that he didn't want to go to that he bought a ticket for. So he'll do it. He'll do it in Northern France. I believe in him.
I will say, based on recent experience, going to 2,000 plus tournaments is the sweatiest experience. Like Pokemon Day 1 started at 9 a.m. and finished at half midnight. It was like 50-minute rounds with 40 minutes of waiting around for the next round.
Jeez.
And 30 minutes for a piss. Like it was, it was why I quit TCGs back in day. To be honest, it's part of why I'm glad Battle Spirits is a bit more localized as a community.
A bit more niche.
1,000-man tournaments are just mental. Absolutely mental.
43% also said no BSS for life. That's interesting. What do you guys think of that?
It was,
I mean,
again, surprising in a good way to see a bunch of people stand BSS. Like, I don't know if it's just, well, if BSS falls off, then I'll stop playing TCGs in general. I think most TCG players do play multiple TCGs, and it seems that the majority are looking to pivot towards another one, certainly as the primary.
Battle Spirits was always meant to be my side game anyway. It kind of just took priority because of the
side piece. Yeah.
just kind of that thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just the amount of money that, you know. I mean, I was decent enough to make some money, so I was like, you know, I may as well.
And you played Dragon Ball more so anyway, right? So it was like moving from one Bandai game to another, and then if Battle Spirits falls off, you'll just go back to Fusion World. Or
yeah, I mean, I'm still playing Fusion World. I will be at UK Games Expo, guys, so come and say hi. I'll be playing. I'm gonna dabble with Star Wars on the Saturday. I've got no idea competitively. That game's exciting right now because I don't know any of the builds really. Like, I'm learning as I go. So I'll play people and I'll get hammered, and then you know, I don't know. It's exciting playing without fear. It's weird.
Boba Fett the game.
Yeah, I mean, the boogeyman, obviously, Boba Fett is impossible, but
I played the game a little bit. It's actually really interesting, I would say.
I mean, it's fantastic.
I really like the mechanics. I'm not very close to the IP, but just it's I think it's really well designed.
It's amazing, isn't it? It is a very fun game. So yeah,
maybe we should all decide a game to second to.
I mean, I'm playing that. I'm Andre, and Ollie. We're all going to be going to UK Games Expo and playing that. So, last year they had Battle Spirits there. I think 7 or 8 people turned up, or 9 or something, if I remember rightly. But it was. I remember that. Yeah. It was before there was even grand opens.
I remember we watched the stream because there was like a
Andre was on it. Yeah.
I wanted to go, but like it was messed up.
I was playing Dragon Ball. I was like, I ain't playing that. It was for really.
Was a grand open like the week before or something, right? And it was abroad, and then it might have been like Karlsruhe or something, or Den Haag.
Yeah,
and then
they kind of just had Battle Spirits
next week. No,
it was kind of just like a token tournament, really, kind of like a locals with a bit of regional prizing. It was not really like I played Dragon Ball anyway. I wish I played Battle Spirits though, for the vibes. It would have been more fun probably. But yeah, so a lot of people are in our group are saying Battle Spirits for life there. So, but no, I mean, I definitely will be trying other things. Maybe not, you know, spending more time outside of card games. You know, obviously we have lives and do other things. Like Battle Spirits took up a lot of time, just sort of because I wanted to be training for it, but freeing up all that time, you know, maybe we can figure out some other things to do. But that is
my stance as well. Like, I was retired from TCGs and then came back for Battle Spirits, and I'll just go back into retirement if Battle Spirits dies. But how about you, Emmy and Kieran? Like, do you still plan BSS as your main, as your wifey game, or are you downloading the apps looking for a potential side game?
I'll go first. I'm looking. I'm honestly really frustrated. Like I was saying in the group chat, like I'm in like the stage of grief of like anger. You know, I'm still in the anger phase. I think it's just because, as I mentioned, those 3 reasons like that just really get me angry, and I like we all did. Yeah, we poured so much time and love into this game. You know, not only testing, endlessly playing, making content, like so much stuff. And now it feels like I kind of like felt silly for playing the game like this past week. Like I felt like silly for liking this game, and I feel like Bandai is making me feel this way. So it's just like I really don't like
Damn,
that.
it's like you're making it sound like a woman that's just broken your heart and left you
Yeah, that's
left
exactly
you
what
to
it is.
rot. Like
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
no,
got
I
that split.
So maybe I'm looking for a rebound.
I can relate, man. Like I'm listening to this, just like damn. I mean,
I'm looking for a rebound. You know, for the TCG that is a rebound.
I mean, makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah, it's yeah. I think so. I tried Star Wars. I talked to a friend who plays Ibo Academy. He actually casted the games from that huge tournament.
Twickenham.
That just at Twickenham. And I was like, I'm a bit like skeptical because like there's already like this tier 0 deck, Boba. And he was like, no, it's just that people don't know how to play. So that deck is just doing well. But he reckons it's really good. He bangs on One Piece. I don't want to play One Piece. But man, listen, I love this game. I wanna play Battle Spirits, and I wanna travel. But I think like realistically, like all good things come to an end. All good things like change. Everything changes. So maybe it's just a matter of like accepting that, you know, the game is still great. We still have fun playing the game, but it's just not year one anymore. And you know, you can't really hang on to things. We can try to change some things. I don't know if we're going to mention it, but Matt, shout out to Matt for putting together like a form. He managed to get in touch with someone that might have a POC in Bandai. We're trying to, you know, get them some of our thoughts and suggestion on things that they can do. But long story short, and sorry for the long-winded, but yeah, I am looking for other things, but I'm really much focused on, you know, if there is a way to keep playing the game and meet friends and, you know, travel, I'll try to. ProFest is still on the cards right now. We'll see. I've never been to Chicago. I want to fly to Chicago and go to Gen Con, but yeah, it's going to be pretty spenny. I'm going to lie.
I'll be in Chicago in the week preceding it probably, so
That we're going to be there for sure.
A little link up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
How about you, Darren?
It's cool to hear that you guys will be going there, though. It's just good that you're still pushing forward. What about you, Kieran? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep it short because I know we're still on question 2.
This is question 3, but
oh, is it 3? Okay, we're not doing that bad.
We're not as bad. Oh no, it is still question 2. It is still question 2.
It is 2. But to keep it short and simple, listen, I've played I played like Buddy Fight for 5-6 years when regionals were like 40-50 people big. I played a game called Gate Ruler for 2 years that never had a regional and only had an online locals of 12 people at a time. If I play a game, it's for fun, not because I care about like too much. And I think the key thing for me is I said this as well, like my local store, my group at Play Nation, we literally just play the same game together. So if Battle Spirits would die, we'd pick up another niche card game and play it together as a group and enjoy it. Like for us, we don't really care. As long as they keep printing cards, I'll keep playing. That's really my requirement. So not too picky.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, we'll go over the next question. We'll kind of brush over it a bit because it's a nice one though. So, what is your favorite thing been about Battle Spirits so far? We've got 0% gameplay, which is a bit telling.
Well, it's because the other two options it's better, right?
But yeah, but let me context. Yeah. 5% was the prizing, and then 95% was the friends we made along the way, which is very, very sweet. But yeah, friends don't pay for flights, unfortunately. Well, some do, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, obviously, this is why we're doing this podcast now. You know, we do it for the community. We do it for the love. We do it for the love of the game, and it is unfortunate, but it is what it is, kind of thing. Like Emmy said, things change. We have to either move forward or don't. And right now, it's looking like most of the community are going to be moving forward and playing the game. You know, continuing to play. My locals, for example, will be continuing. If you know, jump on our Discord if you need a place to play, guys. So you know, I think we're still in a mourning period, like Emmy has said, and I think people will soon get clarity on what they want to do moving forward with Battle Spirits, like if they want to quit or continue. But yeah, we'll go on to the next question, which is, what is your favourite out of the suggestions we've made so far to improve the game? And we got 30% saying collab prize cards, so that would be like, I guess, Gundam winners and that kind of thing. And 70% of people have said community organized events, which I guess would be sort of grassroots, kind of like my locals, that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think will be the way to keep people interested in competitive play?
Locals. I think it's really hard to enjoy playing a TCG if you don't have like a friend group in person that plays it with you. Something about playing online just doesn't hit the same. I think everyone can probably agree with that to some extent. But that's why we do provide people with online locals as a alternative, if we want to shout that out again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I personally don't have an in-person locals. It died. It whittled down to a few people, and then it just stopped completely. And I've gone to a few places to try and see if there's anything going on, but it's unfortunately I'm not one to just rest and give up, so I just made my online one, so at least I've got a place to play. I play if it's odd numbers to make it even, so there's no buys, but otherwise I will just be watching and enjoying. But no, I mean, it's difficult to get people, you know, to keep people interested in coming to tournaments. Like, they're going to have to do something with the prizing, because traditionally people will sell their prizing, you know, to cover costs and stuff, but obviously with Battle Spirits that's impossible. But do you think it is possible, say, if they made a really nice Gundam sort of winner, Harry? Do you think that would change matters for people?
It would certainly help. Like, I'm inclined to keep my prize cards just because I like them. But if we're comparing the sort of retail value of Battle Spirits prize cards compared to the other Bandai games, like, it isn't even close. And they can get away with doing that with One Piece and Digimon, etc., because their IPs and the prize cards are just inherently worth so much. Like, you get cards selling for tens of thousands. So it would help, and it wouldn't really cost much, I don't think, if it's just like, say, like with the Iras from the pre-release, if it was just like an Eva Ira somehow.
I mean, just
like Goku riding a Shenron or something. I don't know. It would inherently be worth more.
Credit to someone in the chat. Just print more One Piece promos and let us have those as our prizing.
That is also true. Yeah, but, yeah, and then
obviously that wouldn't be very good.
Battle Spirits for an easier path towards winning that. I also think on the community organized events point, like, obviously you've been running the online locals, Josh, but since that idea was sort of floated in the chat, like, there has been a lot of traction for it, and like, I've been getting messages from people saying that they're willing to contribute to the prizing and stuff like that, and it's just like, there's a lot of goodwill towards that end, so hopefully it would sort of set a baseline to where, you know, if you did have a tournament with cash prizing and then, like, you know, a couple hundred people show up, it's conceivable that the organizers could make their money back, and like obviously the people who do well would get a better payout than attending the actual competitive circuit events. So it's an interesting option for sure. It'll be really curious to see how that pans out if people look into it more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, question 5. Are you optimistic about the future of Battle Spirits Saga? So we had 5% saying hell yes. 65% saying meh. And the other 30% saying hell no. I mean, realistically, I think the game is in trouble on a commercial level. I'd be surprised if we get a year free. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't want to be defeatist, and I'm not saying that is the case by any means. I don't know these things. I just think the writing's on the wall. There's a lot of factors at play here, with the announcement of pricing as well as the amount of stock that's going out and everything like that. So I think that the game's days are numbered, and we should enjoy it for what it is, and I think it will kind of get a legacy status soon. We have the nice boxes we got from Worlds or whatever, and get dust on it and get it out every now and again to play with the boys kind of thing. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to just sustain and carry on? Or do you think something's got to give?
No, I think BSS is. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm worried about the game dying. Like the fact is the game's cash prize or pricing is still better than most other games out there. By far, even like heavy competitive games don't even have like. I mean, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! You get a fucking Switch and some packs for doing well. Like and I've played like tons of indie small TCGs that have gone on for even 10 years, 8 years onwards. And I think the only reason why, honestly, Battle Spirits might live longer than what it probably should do is because it's Bandai's original creation. And I just don't think they want to admit, like, yeah, we fucked up. So I think they will keep it going a bit longer than what they actually maybe should do. But realistically, like, they can shut it down next year. They can shut it down in 10 years' time. Like, it's such a hit and miss with these companies.
It's pretty tricky, right? Because obviously we finish year one. Again, we're not delusional. I think we see it's a super competitive market, and there's so many TCGs coming out, and I think the addressable market is pretty huge. Like, there's a lot of people playing card games more and more, and we see people starting playing card games because of IPs like One Piece, again, going back to that example. But now I wouldn't exclude people. In fact, I know of a friend who's starting playing TCG because of Star Wars, right? And I think is a hobby that, because it's highly, community driven, like sociable, does keep you in. If you build, a group, like Kieran says, I don't care, kind of like, as long as I get to play TCGs with my friends. So, there are people coming in the hobby, and they might pick up the game because of the IP, which is, entering the next cycle, which is Evangelion. Huge IP. I think like a lot of people really love Evangelion, and there's a lot happening on that collaboration front. But the thing is, like, I think we all expected it to like kind of slow down a little bit, but we all thought, this is Bandai's child, and like they want to look after it. But now with this comes, like, I'm starting to be doubtful that they actually, have that regard to this IP. Like, at the end of the day, it's a for-profit company, and if there's no profits, they can't just say, oh, but we still love this and let's keep doing it. realistically they will have to sunset it at some point if it's just a loss for it. So I think it's just like not being optimistic or pessimistic. It's just try to be like as realistic and ready for what could happen. I'm just hopeful that Evangelion will bring, a few more players, and also hopeful that the vouchers will work out the way they are supposed to, so people can travel. But yeah, I mean that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, just realistically, on a commercial level, the game shouldn't continue. But as Kieran said, you never know with these things. Maybe they will just persevere and keep trying to break into what seems like an impossible market right now.
I think one thing as well to consider is like people sometimes forget that like print runs are quite major in terms of how much you actually get sent to print. If you look at set 4's print run was really low compared to set 1 and 2, but that's the kind of stuff you have to do to make a game start breaking even or start being profitable to even to some minor extent. Like set 4, I mean set 4 has done insanely well. Like it sold very well. The prices still hold, which is surprising for the game, and the cards have value because they didn't overprint it. So I think what you're going to see is every single set moving forward will have the same kind of printing, where it'll be very low, cards will be very like hard to get eventually. So basically, what I'm saying, if you see a pre-register or pre-order, order them then. Don't wait like 2 months after because the cards are going to be really hard to get.
Yeah, no, it's very true. So yeah, we're on to our last question. Well, we have 2 questions actually, but our last sad boy question. Compared to 2023, do you trust Bandai more or less in 2024? 0% more, they're killing it. 15% meh, about the same, and 85% less, they're killing us.
They are killing it, but yeah.
They're killing us. So yeah, I mean, obviously, trust is going to be at an all-time low with Battle Spirits. We've had a little bit of deception over the past week. We don't need to keep banging the same drum about that, but yeah, I mean, final thoughts on the whole thing. I hope that the game continues, and I don't want this to be the end. I think a lot of people are very upset right now, us 4 included. You know, obviously we put a lot of energy into doing this podcast and trying to put out content to help drive the community, and a setback like this really hurts what we're trying to achieve. So from that perspective, it's very disappointing. That being said, you know, we don't plan to end the podcast. We don't plan to end the locals, and we will still continue to do content for you guys. So it's just a case of, if you want to stick around kind of thing, I think, at this point. And yeah, time will tell. Like I said, it's the wounds are raw right now, so it's hard for people to know exactly how they want to move forward. But I'm sure in time we'll get a bit more clarity. But I mean, if our poll suggests anything, people still want to play the game moving forward. So it's looking positive. And to be fair, let me just check. I've had 6 sign-ups for locals on Monday already, and I only opened it a few hours ago. So, that's more than actually normal. So maybe we will. This whole scenario will kind of meld the community closer together that want to stick around. But yeah, what about you, Harry? What's your final thoughts on everything that's happened and the future of our beloved game?
Yeah, it is encouraging to see that, the majority of the people, at least in our chat, seem to want to stick with it, and despite the hardships are continuing. I think that retaining the current player base, we'll stick with it, as we said, until they stop printing battle spirits, basically, or just make it completely unfeasible to do any sort of circuit. Even if they made the circuit not worth it, as we said, like, you can just do community organized events that would get a decent turnout, because the game is really fun and there is a strong love for it. I think the issue, and I would agree with your prediction that there might not, they might discontinue it next year, or certainly the year after that. The issue that we found is encouraging new people to get into it, because especially like following after Worlds and stuff, anecdotally, each of us have recalled a lot of interest. Like, I've had a lot of people, even just like normie card game players, or just like normal people in general.
I mean, we
really
literally had
interested in the game.
We literally had the second, the guy who came second in the world for Dragon Ball Masters come and play a tournament. So interest was there from the bottom to the top of competitive.
And he got top 8 straight away. But even just like I've had colleagues asking about it, and just like, like dates or just like anyone. Like, there has been a lot of interest of people being like, oh yeah, this game looks really fun. Should I get into it? And the issue is that in 2024, and this has been true of other people who we've asked in the chat, like, we can't honestly say to those people, like, yeah, you should get into it, especially when Bandai has acted in the way that they have. And we appreciate that, there are a lot of ongoing circumstances, the separation between Bandai and Namco, and the division of the card game aspect of it. Like, we're not saying that it's perniciously done or done out of malice, but it has created a much greater consumer distrust in the company than there needed to be. So, yeah.
I don't agree, Harry. I think you should make it a dating requirement, for you to get on a date with you, is you have to play Battle Spirits.
Yeah, just, pull out your deck box, and just get gaming.
They're white aggro masters, trust me. Like, they give our boy Aaron a run for his money, but unfortunately, I just always draw Big Bang Ira when I'm playing on dates. I don't know why.
I mean, it is what it is, But yeah, so we'll continue your final thoughts, Harry, before we move on. Or were you there?
I mean, yeah, it's impossible to get new people into the game as things stand at the moment. So how are we going to grow it? It's really difficult. I think the players who are already playing are playing because they want to play it, but you are going to get more people leaving, and yeah, it's an uphill battle, which has only been made worse by their lack of transparency in terms of pricing and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, I've definitely got like 4 friends that have completely U-turned on wanting to play. I mean, they've played other Bandai games, but seeing the distrust, they're just like, the amount of messages I got regarding the announcement from people that don't even play the game. It's just like,
I got the same.
Yeah,
like friends that
there are people who play Saga wanting to play the Japanese game now. That's how bad it's been. We're all gonna second to JP. Like,
absolute madness. But yeah, Emmy, what about you? Where do your feelings lie on the trust and just the game in general?
I think, like, I've said everything I wanted to say. I'm currently like, I have a couple of decks built, and I might go to locals next week, and I can't this week. But yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really love this game. I really want to play it. I want to continue playing it. But yeah, I also like the competitive aspect. Like, I want to play for something. And also, I guess, like, I also want to, I want to have like a finite goal. Like, last year, for example, was get to Worlds. Now it's like, do I want to get to World? Like, I don't know. I'm still like very much a bit like lost right now. So
no, it makes sense, man. It's totally understandable. But yeah, what about you, Kieran? What are your final thoughts? I know you've got more of a positive approach where you were just playing it for the love of the game and stuff. But does it upset you how the announcements impacted the game you love to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird announcement, like I said, because it sucks because cash price. It was an absurd amount of money they gave out last year for like how big the game actually was. The game had no right being that generous, so well, their plan just flipped completely. I guess at least they committed to the full year of money. Like they didn't just pull out like, you know how like some of the Australian events or UK events had like barely any people to show up and they still committed to the whole 7K thing. Like that's fair enough for that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the vouchers thing is still like it's better pricing for top cut than what other games gives you. So that's kind of my mindset with it. Now consistently getting top 4 at Grand Open, good luck. But a 4K voucher, you can do some stuff with that. Just don't go to the Pro Tour, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it in a way, it's kind of like. It's kind of sad, you know. It's like when people get into the loop of just working to live, you know. You end up just topping to play, you know, because you use that money to then go and play and try and top somewhere else to get another flight voucher to then go fly somewhere else and top somewhere else. It's kind of like, there's no like real.
You need to make a holiday out of it, because when you start to see it as if I do well, I get a free holiday. That's when you start to realize like the pricing's actually decent. Still,
that's true. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's like the prospect of spending like £2,000 to go and play in Chicago or whatever in Gen Con, that it just doesn't seem viable for me. I think I'd rather go. I'd rather go to like, I don't know, Barbados or Japan or you know, a desert island.
But that's why I
Not
truly
Chicago.
do think the people it hurts the most really is the people who were using that 250 or 500 from last year to even help fund the trips. Like they've.
Would you Here's a little
go on.
flip question for you, Kieran. Would you have travelled to all of the tournaments there last year like you did and do everything you did if there was no prize money involved? Would you have done it all the same? And try and be as honest as possible. Like
no
you
prize.
Yeah, no. So
was there like a travel
vouchers for the top 8? Yeah, like it is £2,000 travel vouchers for the top 8. Exactly the pricing we got this year.
I wouldn't have gone to America for Pro Tour 1, but I would have gone to all the UK events. Maybe some of the EU events that weren't too expensive, because like my logic with this has always been like, I just doing it for like it's my hobby. I need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Touch grass.
We all
so
need
like,
that, yeah.
So I don't mind paying, like, again, it depends on the costs. But yeah, I think I would have done pretty much everything similar to last year besides Pro Tour 1 when we went to New York.
Yeah.
That's one I would not
really
have done.
Great. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
I went to New York because I love New York. Like, that's why I wanted to go there. The tournament was kind of a side piece. Going to see Metallica and stuff like that. It was, it's probably one of the best holidays ever.
I'm talking. Yeah, I speak from that kind of background where in Bushiroad games, if you get like to go to Worlds at Bushiroad games, you have to get first, second, or third. Only first place gets a sponsored flight and accommodation. Second and third have to pay their own way to even get there.
That's brutal.
Second and third. So that's the background I come from. So that's why I'm saying a 4K voucher is really good.
You're saying don't take that for granted. The vouchers will be gone soon. Next year we won't even have the vouchers. So, but yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's cool that we've all got a slightly different perspective, but we are all, I guess, disappointed in the way it's just been handled. Really, that's the most important thing. That's what it boils down to.
I think very quickly, to make up for no cash, they really should have given out like more merch stuff. Like maybe like they've even taken off the Pro Tour sleeves, for goodness sake. We can't even get that anymore.
Yeah, and like I said, the playmats are the lowest of the low quality now. They're like the ones that as soon as you play them once, they start to fray across the sides, and it's just awful. Just
That's
awful.
why you don't. That's why I don't open my playmats.
Yeah, I mean, I like.
yeah.
They're called playmats, so I use them to play, not to look at.
But like like the Nova deck box at Worlds, for example, like that's one piece of merchandise. What about like a crappy
That would be.
binder or
I think that would
something?
be my prized possession from this game in general. I know you guys have big prize cards and stuff, but I think the Battle Spirits box. I will probably like. I'll use it.
Really good.
I'll use it for
good.
different games. Honestly, it's that sick. It's really cool.
It is. It is really really good. Like.
But yeah,
just,
I mean, I doubt we'll be getting anything like that anytime soon. If we're not even barely getting a brick. But anyway, yeah, enough of all the sad boy stuff. In conclusion, we love Battle Spirits, and that's what makes it hurt more. But anyway, yeah. So we go to question time on the round. We did a 7th question where we asked, if you were stuck on a desert island for 60 days, which member of the podcast would you like to stay with? And the overwhelming majority was with me, obviously. So, no, not really. Emmy's the most popular one out of all of us. I am the least popular. Kieran gave me a pity love, and Ollie gave me a love as well, but I think it's because he only really knows me.
Equally unpopular compared to.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mr. Riz.
But yeah, I don't know. There's been I'm getting an independent investigation done because I feel like Emmy's been paying people off. But anyway, you guys didn't know this, but you've actually picked the new face and new host of the podcast. So Emmy, I hand over the reins to you now. You can take the rest of the podcast for today. Good luck.
Yeah, you guys are fired, and I'm currently recruiting 3 new members of the podcast. So just send your applications here in the comments. Just tell me like your favorite card and why I should choose you. But yeah, I didn't even know that was happening today, and I just think like people think I have like good survival skills, but the thing is, if you're stuck with me on a desert island, we're done. So like we're dead like so fast. I have like 0 survival skills. Kieran was in the scouts, no? Like
That's true.
Yep.
He would keep you safe.
He's got a badge in making fires, so yeah. I mean,
There you go.
I've also got a badge in first aid, so if you need patching up.
it's just going to be me and Kieran surviving, and me playing an electric guitar with no amp because we don't have power, and him hating me after 10 minutes. But
Kieran got his guitar building badge as well, so
I forgot about that one.
yeah, my amp building badge. But yeah, so we have question time on the round, which I'm just going to ask to everyone. How did you guys meet? Well, playing Battle Spirits.
I mean, Harry, do you want to go through the origin? I mean, it's your WhatsApp chat, right? So you probably know the most of the origins for everyone.
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, I think it started at launch event. I played Karen twice, in Swiss and in top 4. So, yeah, going into that tournament, I had a few friends who were playing, but obviously the player base is quite spread out geographically. Like R2 and Sampo, for example, they're like the only 2 Finnish players. So we thought it was a good idea just to start a WhatsApp group to better connect us all in case we wanted to test and exchange ideas. So Kieran was added to that pretty quickly. We had some very fun games together. Then I think I met Josh, Andre, and you had another friend, I think, an Asian guy, Josh. We met you all at the same time.
Damien is he played Battle Spirits. He's from Taiwan and Singapore. Sorry, excuse me. But he used to play Battle Spirits a lot as a kid, the original one, and he was like, guys, I've already done this. I can't play this game again. He plays a lot of other games as well, bless him. But yeah, he's like a teammate from other games here. Yeah, he came to one tournament at least.
So we met all of you at the same time, and again just added you guys to the chat as well.
I first met you actually, Harry. This is quite a funny one, really. You might not have remembered because we were all focused, but we we met you in the nightclub when you were all opening your packs, and we me and Andre, I actually picked up boxes from you guys. So I was actually sitting like on the table next to you, opening my boxes, looking for my Newman guards. I
was busy helping Finn and Jamie deflect the slug and lettuce sirens that were trying to.
Yeah, I know. We had the same people coming over and asking what we were doing, and I was just like, I literally don't have time to speak to you.
Why don't you stop that silly nerd stuff and come dance with us? It's like, we're trying to pull ice shields here, love. Like,
I mean, I wanted to dance with you, Harry. I'm sorry, I had to approach you somehow. Like, I know, I didn't mean to call you a nerd.
We nearly got paired against each other at a launch event as well. I don't know if you remember that, but then there was one of the rounds where they did a repair.
Oh yeah. I remember. We were sitting in front of you. We were bantering. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. And then I got paired with a really nasty piece of crap. Yeah, I do remember that after that.
I think. Yeah.
I would have preferred to just lose to you, to be honest. But there you go.
And then yeah, Emmy, I met at Bermondsey, I think like a week or two after launch event. Bermondsey had like a starter deck draft, and yeah, Emmy just comes up and asks about the deck advice and stuff, and then I think Emmy won a locals and shouted me out in his deck profile. He was like, yeah, it was basically just Harry's list. And then yeah, we all just sort of took off from there. That's my experience of it.
Yeah,
pretty
for
much.
me, I've seen you. So I turned up at the launch event with my starter deck, fresh of 1 week of knowing Battle Spirits from Bois Critical. And then I just remember seeing the Harry's deck profile on Ibo's channel. Second shout out in one video for Ibo Academy. Then we met that way, and I think you shout out to Harry for really, creating the community from scratch. And like now we have, how many did you say? Like 50 something?
50.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like, I'm from all over the world as well. And these are all folks. Obviously, we were joking earlier, like, there's not an exclusive club. Everyone that wants to join that we meet in person, we just add on WhatsApp. And it's been great. And like, we're active every single day as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and how the podcast really started was because I didn't really, obviously I knew you, Harry, but I didn't know Kieran or Emmy at all until I, for some reason, stayed with you, didn't I, Emmy? Was it PT in Holland or was it a Grand Open? I can't remember.
It was a Grand Open, yeah.
Yeah,
oh my
God,
yeah. It was kind of in Amsterdam, and like we were.
You guys just had a spot, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I don't have a spot, so I'll come stay with you. And from there we kind of discussed, content a bit, and that was when we were like, let's choose another host each to join in with the podcast, and that's kind of how it started. I picked Harry, didn't I, and you picked Kieran to start. Was that how it went? I can't remember. I think so.
I think you have an alternate recollection as well, Josh, where it was me and you that got to choose.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
I did float the
I
idea.
chose Emmy. Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how to do any of it, but it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I just messaged you like, I know how to do it. Let's do it. And
we're like, ooh, let's go.
And then I discussed with Emmy before that he was interested in doing it as well, which stirred me to be like, let's get Emmy. And then Harry was like, let's get Kieran, and here we are. 20 episodes later, guys.
Two of the good guys of the game, for sure. Jovial, charismatic young men who are competent at the game. So,
and I'm not sure about us two, but
really.
Yeah, we needed to balance it out, didn't we? Like the rough shot, the rough shot pair of us. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like I say, it's been awesome so far. I'm really happy that we've got to 20 episodes. That is a lot of content and a lot of commitment.
It's a very wholesome note to end season 2, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
200 something subs as well. Like, that's crazy. We never expected that.
We didn't expect it. We didn't expect the views either. Obviously, we're bringing out lots of more content. People have been watching that as well. So yeah, thanks to everyone that has been enjoying stuff. We will be back, maybe in a different capacity moving forward. Only time will tell, guys. But like I say, we do still want to play the game, and none of us are straight giving up on Battle Spirits because of the announcement. We're gonna help put out the fire, hopefully, and help with the damage control a bit, and try and make people realize there's more to life than money. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts
in the comments as well. Yeah, like you can be much less polite than we've been, but just feel free to express how you feel about the latest news and Battle Spirits in general. We're all ears. So
and let us know if you want us to continue. Maybe you don't want us to continue. Maybe you hate us. Maybe it repulses you, the thought of
hate watch us.
Now there's no money involved. Maybe it's like, I don't care what those guys think anymore. But no, just let us know, guys. We do love your comments. We get giddy in our little podcast chat, but wow, we're getting so many people commenting and interacting with us. It's just we're very humbled. So thank you very much.
Totally, and I think I just want to since we're closing the season and talking about content and stuff, just a quick shout out to other channels that I guess if you're watching us, you know them, but just I saw Main Deck Master have celebrated 500 subs as well, so congrats to them. They're doing a fantastic job on content. Obviously, Absolute BSS. We're still trying to organize things together. We're all adults with jobs, so it takes a while. Cosmic actually gave us a shout out as well during the last top 8.
Oh, yeah. He wants to cover the locals as well, doesn't he? So maybe if you play our locals, guys, maybe you'll get a shout out from Cosmic. Get your deck lists up.
BSS Central as well, and I'm sure I'm gonna forget someone, but we'll leave them in the.
That's a good point as well. This Saturday, guys.
Yes.
We will be. Go on. You carry on.
No. Go for it. Because
we will be commentating. It is BSS Central that are doing the Italian stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are co-streaming with BSS Central, who will be doing a native Italian stream. The Italian Win a Box tournament, 64 plus players already confirmed. It's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be a full day of streaming. I think it's going to be crazy, 9:30 in the morning all the way to the end, guys. We will be there having a good time. It's going to be complete banter. We might have special guests with us, and it's a long time. We might grab some friends from the community to come and help co-commentate. Yes. But me, Kieran, and Harry will be there. Emmy's decided that he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I hate these guys. Yeah. One thing I would say though, guys, definitely tune in because the level is so high. Obviously, Nimer and Alberto, you know them from top 16 Pro Tour, top 8 Worlds. The scene in Italy is huge because Battle Spirit Original was airing in Italy, and it was launched in Italy. So there's a lot of people that were into Battle Spirits, and now they're in Battle Spirit Saga. There's a lot of good players, so expect very high level plays, interesting deck lists. So it's gonna be super, honestly. So yeah, looking forward to catch that.
Yeah, so awesome time ahead. That would be a great way to celebrate finishing off our second season as well, doing our first, being entrusted with our first full cast. So yeah, that will be streaming on our YouTube as well, guys. So yeah, pretty exciting, really. It'll be our first stream from the channel. So yeah, very cool stuff. There is some positives. So yeah, that's pretty much it for season 2, though, guys. So thank you all again for watching and listening. We have a lot of time for all of you guys, and we will continue to push this game, guys. we have always had the intention of potentially doing other games on this channel. So maybe in the future there will be little Star Wars special podcasts or podcasts about different games as well. But for now, guys, that's it for this season. So, any final thoughts, guys, before we leave? You guys got anything?
Just one thing I would say, this is the end of the season for the podcast, obviously, but you might have noticed that we're posting gameplay. We've had our first player profile with Aoife. Shout out if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll put it on the screen. We have another player profile coming this week. So yeah, look forward for more content and let us know what you think, what you want to see more of. We do want to give a spotlight to players in the community. If you want to get one of these, reach out. We'll love to. But yeah, no, just thanks to everyone for watching and supporting.
All right. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, and we will see you next time. Peace.